Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Levi, and today we're doing a fun Fancy Fresh book haul. I'm not in my normal setup today because I'm actually in Paris. Fun. I have never traveled abroad before, so I was super nervous to come, but it's my last day and now I'm super depressed to be leaving. I got a tattoo of a little croissant. I love her. She is my pride and joy. But more importantly, I do have a book haul, a slight little book haul from Paris. So I'm going to start with the non-bookish items first. There's only a few. One of them is I went to the Catacombs, which has been a dream destination of mine since I was probably like 14. And I thought originally when I started school, I wanted to be a forensic anthropologist. I do not, because it requires much more brain power than I can currently achieve. So I switched to what I'm in now, but I still always wanted to go to the catacombs, and I did, and I got this beautiful notebook with great gold foiling, and it's got like dots inside and just some nice like gilded edges. And I had just finished my writing notebook before coming here, so I thought it was good to get a new one, and I just think this one is so beautiful. I also went to an anime store, and this was on our way back from Versailles, and I just popped into this little store because I wanted some manga editions in French. This just happened to be the closest store at the time. I also got this little, I don't know if you can see him, he is a little Sakuna man, and that's all I'll be saying on that. Thank you. I would say most of the books I got are in French. There are two in English. So the first one I got from that same manga store, I think it was called Manga Story. And this is just Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 1, and it's in French. I collect 2 volumes in every language. Those are my favorite volumes so far. So I have this volume in Japanese and in English, and I just wanted to round it out with French. And if you have not read Jujutsu Kaisen, I don't blame you, but I am unfortunately very mentally ill about it. So that's that. And then I also got volume 8, not at that same store, but at a store in galleries, the Lafayette galleries. And we just happened across this like bookstore that had a big manga section. And I just got my second favorite volume, which is volume 8. The next book is from the Abbey bookstore, which I actually found because of TikTok. And the Abbey bookstore is an English bookstore, so if you don't speak French and are visiting France, it's a good place to go because all the books there are in English. And there I found this edition of Jane Eyre. If you don't know, I collect Jane Eyre editions. It says, this special edition of Jane Eyre is inspired by International Women's Day and introduced by writer and activist Scarlett Curtis. So there's a bunch of different versions of like the classics in this style, but I thought it was just so cute. I didn't want to pass it up. So I mentioned that we went to Versailles, and Versailles has a gift shop, and I did get like a few bookmarks, and I got my friends some stuff and my family some stuff. But I also could not resist when I saw this. I thought it was so funny. It's a Marie Antoinette manga. I just thought it was really funny that there'd be like a shoujo manga about Marie Antoinette. The next store that I went to is actually a very famous French queer bookstore, and I put it on our list to make sure that we went there. It's called Les Mots à la Bouche, and that means words of the mouth, and it's just like a very famous French LGBTQ bookstore. And so there I got this book right here. The title translates to I was scared there were dead people there. This book, as far as I could tell, well, one, it's completely in French. Obviously not my native language. I am also not 100% fluent. But from what I can tell, this book, written by Natalie Constant, is about zombies and kind of what to do in humanity-wise in the face of zombies. And I am a zombie little bitch, and I really wanted to support this bookstore and get something from them because this book is completely in French. The cashier obviously thought that I spoke French fluently, and he was explaining about how much he loved the book, how excited he was for other people to read it. And I was like, yeah, because I could understand what he was saying, but I don't remember the word for excited because it's very close to the word for horny. So like I didn't want to accidentally say I was horny. Sure, I just said, oh, merci, and I left. So I'm very sorry to that bookseller. You were very nice. So the next store is Shakespeare and Co, which is arguably like one of the most famous bookstores in Paris. They also have a cafe, and they also have an antique store. We only went to the English-speaking bookstore, and the really cool thing about Shakespeare and Co is that you can go and ask, do you have any beds available? And if they say yes, you can stay there, but you have to read a certain amount of books or do a certain amount of work while you're there, and you can stay there for free. And that was part of the basis of the library when it was created. So that was really cool, seeing all the beds and all the ways that people can stay there, and just a selection of books was really good as well. So I didn't really know what to get. There is quite a bit of a markup for English books in France. I think it's because of taxes, tariffs, whatever. For any books that have been translated, there is quite a bit of a markup. Like this book was, even though it was written in French, this book was 19 euro, which is crazy. The cost of books here is very high. But I got the Aeneid by Virgil in this beautiful edition. Shakespeare and Co. also gives you a little bookmark, but more fun, they also do a stamp on your book if you ask them to. So that was fun. I figured because I am such a little Greek bitch that I needed to trample over to the Romans for a second and read that. And then the last book that I got is a book that I really wanted to find in French just because of how much I love it. And that is Howls Moving Castle by Diana Wynne-Jones en français. So the translation is, let's see if we can do this, is Le Château des Earls. And I don't know if I said that correctly. If I didn't, don't mention it. Maybe. Let me have my piece. And I just found out as I was flipping through it that there are illustrations. Yes. Slay, as they say. So that was the last book, but this was definitely the one that I wanted to find the most, and I could not find it anywhere. We went to like 4 different bookstores in one day because we just had like a bookstore day. Nobody had it. And it was on the way to my tattoo where I happened upon a random bookstore. I walked in just like, oh, I'm just gonna browse. And it was like right there, like first shelf. And I was like, you're coming home with me. So I did manage to get it. Very happy. This was like the #1 book that I really wanted to find here, and I'm glad that I finally found it. This is my Paris book haul. Definitely like not as crazy as it could have been, not gonna lie, but not as tame as it could have been either. You have no idea how depressed I am to be living in Paris. Like I feel like I have just settled in at home here and have really enjoyed it for the time that I've been here. And not only that, it's good to know that the French that I know, it's not at a fluent level, but it's enough that I have been able to get around Paris with very little problems. And whenever somebody can't speak what they need in English, I can usually translate to French. And usually what I can't translate into French, they are okay with me translating it into English. So it's like a nice give and take. And there are times where I'll find myself understanding everything that the person is saying in French and replying in English. It's good to know that my level of French has helped me get around here with very little problems, and I've been able to make like conversation with other people, supplementing, you know, where I can, and it's just been very nice overall. And I'm so depressed to be leaving, and also I want whatever the French sun has. Every day we've been here, the sun has gone down at like 9:30 p.m. Excuse me? I'm gonna need that back in New York. So I'm going to have to go back to trying to romanticize my life in New York so I don't fall into European depression, because I cannot let the Europeans have a leg up on us. I'm sorry. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. And if you want to see more of me, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye. I can't reach, so let's go see over there. Bye.